Will this work?
I hope so, Colin. I think it's a very good idea that people get to see what's going on here. Because one of the huge problems in immigration control, of course, is removals and returning people. And it's become a real problem for the Home Office and the Border Force immigration enforcement to remove anybody, because a great many of these countries won't cooperate. And we can't remove anybody unless we've got an agreement that they'll take them back. So I do think there is a quid pro quo here. Where we do need to engage with source and transit countries and say to them, look, you have an obligation to take your own nationals back if they don't qualify to stay here. And many, many countries, as you know, are ducking that issue. And I think it's really important that the public understand there is a foreign policy issue here, and we need to make the best use of it so that we can start getting immigration enforcement going again.
Are they ducking it, Tony, or do they simply lack the ability to do anything about it? I mean, if you look at this league table, countries like Bangladesh, Eritrea are countries that seem least able to take back to their country foreign criminals that have come to the UK, committed to a crime, or asylum seekers whose applications have failed. I mean, are they saying, no, we don't want them back, you keep them, or are they so disorganised, for instance, that they can't make that system of repatriation work?
No, this is very straightforward, actually, Colin. This is a political game that's being played here. I was involved in a lot of this work when I was in the Home Office, and it's a simple application to the embassy here for a passport in the same way that anybody else would apply for a passport. But quite often the migrants themselves won't comply with that process. They won't fill out any forms. They won't give us the necessary documents. And so it really is a question of us making sure that we are able to engage with these countries and say, look, it's your responsibility to document your own passengers for return. And so I do think people need to understand this. Now, the Border Force quite often get beaten up in immigration enforcement, the Home Office not deporting people. But I think people really need to understand that borders these days is a two-way street. And unless we can actually persuade countries to document their own nationals to take them back, then whether or not they qualify to stay, we haven't really got an effective border control.